Welcome back to Crafters TV, another fabulous show. My name is John. I've had a few days off. I hope you missed me. If you didn't, just don't tell me, but I'm sure you did. It's great to be back. We're back as well with a masterclass. Not only with a masterclass, it's like a masterclass 101. And we've got a very special person back in the building. It's been so long and Fiona's back with me. How are you?
Hello Joe, how are you? Hello everyone.
Good.
So long.
So long ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it maybe February we were here together?
We were trying to work it out, weren't we? We were trying to work it out, and I think it was about 6 months. So it's lovely to finally be back up here, and we're talking about one of my favourite things. We're talking about ink pads. We're talking about beautiful ink pads which are going to enable you to do backgrounds which look like this, your wonderful distress background with your Harmony Water Reactive. We're going to be using the quick dry inks, which means you can matte and layer stamps, and we're going to be using our pigment inks, which if you can see a little bit of a shine there, you can use to emboss with, so you can put colour on and then clear emboss over the top. They all work beautifully together or independently, and we're going to be playing with all of them. So if you've got any questions at all, feed them through to Joe, and Joe's going to feed them through to me.
Yes.
And we're going to have fun, aren't we, Joe?
We are going to have a lot of fun. It is going to get very inky, a little bit messy, although Fiona is a very tidy crafter, I'm sure. But maybe there'll be a little bit of inkiness going on. And as Fiona rightly said, yeah, it's not often really. Well, we'll bring you lots of different ranges of ink pads, but it's not really that often that we bring them to you all together in one place at the same time, so you can see them side by side and compare the different ranges. So that's why this is a really exciting masterclass. But what I definitely understand is it's probably going to raise loads of questions from you guys. Now, it's really easy to get in touch with us if you want to pop those questions over. So get over onto our social media. It's the best way to do it. So if you want to go over to Facebook, go to Crafters TV and then pop your questions into the Facebook live feed on Crafters TV, or if you're on YouTube, pop them into the comments over there and I'll get them through to me here in the studio, and then I'll be able to send them on to Fiona. If you want to, you can email us as well, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. You can also send pictures there as well. So if you have been making amazing backgrounds, maybe you've been doing wonderful stamp projects, we would love to see some of those pictures as we go through the show. But Fiona, this is going to be a really good show, isn't it, for everyone to try and understand how all the different ranges work together, but also independently.
Absolutely. And you know what, Joe, I thought, as it's my first show back this year, what I thought we'd do, you see this now, this is a sample that I've made using the pigment inks, and I'm going to show you how to make it. But what say, Joe, after the show you pick a winner from anybody who comments and you can get that sent out for me. How does that sound?
That sounds particularly generous, Fiona. So yes,
right.
drop us a comment. I'll make sure I pick someone at the end, which will be fabulous. So what ink pads are we looking at today then, Fiona? What's on the menu, so to speak?
So we're going to be looking at quick dry ink pads, which are perfect for your matting and layering, and then we're going to go on and we're going to look at your pigment inks, and then finally at your Harmony ink pads. And if I get a chance, what we'll do is we will go back to that sample which I've carefully put somewhere and lost immediately, and we'll do the project I showed you right at the very beginning with the very pretty bright background. But let's have a look at these first. So we're going to start with the quick dry inks. Now your quick dry inks are a water-based ink which are perfect for your matting and layering. Now look at some of these samples. What they enable you to do is to get this perfect matte and layered colours, and we've got some fantastic stamps on the show which if you haven't got, you just need to grab because they are sensational. Look at these ornaments, aren't they gorgeous?
Beautiful.
Really pretty. Or maybe you're going to do something like stamping trees. Now quick dry inks, the reason they are so good is they dry immediately, they touch paper or card, and what that means is you can layer colours over without worrying that your darker layer is actually going to mussy up your layer over the top. Look at that.
Oh,
so
that's
imagine
so clever.
This is a really good case in point because look, you've got a beautiful honeycomb colour under there with the black on the top. Now if this black reactivated the yellow, what you get is a mush there, and you don't. What you want is a clean, crisp print, something like that. They almost look as if they're printed, don't they? They look sensational.
Yeah, they really are gorgeous. So if you want to layer up your colour then, and you want something that's going to dry instantly, then the quick dry is for you. Now, we've got great deals across all the different ranges that we've got in the show for you today. So within your quick dry, you are going to get included the baby blue, you're going to get the Bordeaux, the pink tulip, you're also going to get fire brown, green topaz, honey pot, lemon tonic, oasis, pale fig, pumice, seal brown, and the smoked emerald as well. So they are the 13 ink pads that you are getting included. It is all of that lot that you can see just there. Should be $64.87 in the UK, down to £50. Should be $90.35 in the US, down to $70. You can of course use your Club Inspire discount on the top of that as well. Club Inspire Platinum members in the UK, you'll get an extra £10 off. US Platinum members would save an extra £14 on that as well. A lot of you went for the quick dries before the show started. In fact, I've just heard, I was going to tell you 10% of the stock's gone. Already lots of you jumped to the web already. 20%, a fifth of the stock of the quick dries have gone. I think they could be the first ones to sell out. Now, loads of people chatting away and saying hi already. Let's give some shout outs too. Brigitte from the Netherlands. Christine is in from Yorkshire. Betsy in Houston. Katie's here in San Francisco. Hannah's watching from the Lake District. But we're very international now these days, you know, Fiona. Dorothy's watching from Boston. Myra in Seattle. Kathy in Ireland. And Jane in Bedfordshire as well. This would be a great opportunity because hundreds of you watch us, you know, thousands of you, some shows in fact, but sometimes only about 50 or 60 of you comment along. What I'd love you to do is, if you watch us all the time but you've never commented before, just say hello, give me a wave, let me know you're a first time commenter and where you are tuning in from. We've gone very international recently. We've had Singapore in the house recently, we have Malaysia, lots of Australian viewers, Hawaii. It's all beautiful destinations. I'm sure we could do like a little road trip, Fiona, and visit them all. What do you think?
You and I on a road trip, Crafters Companion road trip, as soon as COVID is available and we're ready to go, and I think we should just tour the nations. We can start with Australia, then Singapore, then the States.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Let's get it planned in. Right, so not just quick dry though, lots more on this show, Fiona.
Yeah, we've got pigments as well. So the pigment inks are a beautiful ink which gives you this wonderful opaque translucency. They blend beautifully. They're great for stenciling, and you can use them with your clear embossing powder to make things jump. So they're fantastic. Really, they're a sticky ink pad, and I will explain more as we get into the demonstrations.
Awesome. Now, if you want to go for the pigment ink pads, they are available on the show for you. Always very, very busy. Lots of you say that the pigments are in fact your favourite ink pad collections. So in this one, you're going to get pumice, you're going to get misty morning, smoked plume, smoked emerald, noir black. You're also going to get the pure white, frosty jade, twilight grey, spar blue, seal brown, anthracite, fry brown, and the smoked pearl as well. So all of those are coming your way in here. Again, £50 or $70. The saving is the same. 10% of this one has sold out and gone already, so you will need to be quick for it. Lots that you can do with these. They are very, very versatile, which is absolutely fantastic. Now the last one as well. I know you're not allowed to have favourites, Fiona, but if you did, I have a funny feeling this one might be your favourite collection.
Well, do you know the thing about this one, Joe, is that you can do all of your techniques and your faux bleaching and your smushing with these. You can mix them with your sparkle inks as well. So keep your Harmony water reactive ones for exactly what they say. And this is one of the demonstrations we're going to be doing later in the show. Isn't that fun? We've got some great stencils on the show as well. Really gorgeous. So hopefully we get to play with those as well.
Absolutely gorgeous. Right, if you want to go for those, the colours are just, I mean, colours are awesome in all of these collections, but in the water reactives, I mean, they are off the chart. Shut the front door, amazing. So in this collection, you are going to receive the Chinese red, which I adore. You're going to get the honey pot. You're also going to get as well the lemon tonic, the fuchsia, pink tulip, noir black, lagoon, oasis, parakeet, the sandstorm, and you're also going to get ocean blue, baby blue, and green topaz. A really lovely combination of colours. These are great for so many different techniques. £50 or $70 if you want to go for those. I've just heard already people are going for all three, putting all three in their basket, which Fiona said before the show. She said if you don't own them all, you need them all when they're on this deal. Because Fiona's also going to show us through the show how they all work beautifully in conjunction with each other, which is brilliant. Very busy on across all three of these ink pads. A lot of people saying in the comments as well that they're really pleased that we're doing this. Karen says, Fiona, this is my first time watching you, and this is definitely a topic I need help in understanding. I've been looking forward to this show since last week. Sonia says as well, I can't wait to see all of these demos. I've got all of the ink pads on the show, so really excited to see all the inspiration. Right, I know Fiona's like a coiled spring over there ready to get going. Before we get to that first demonstration, I need to tell you some of the other stuff that's coming up in this show. A beautiful stamp and die collection on the show for you. This is our layerable stamp and dies, the Christmas collection, over 130 elements, £93 if you're in the UK, $125 in the US. You'll see lots more of this as we go through the show. Now, we've also got some essential stamps on the show for you as well. 95 elements in here. That's an incredible price. It's actually a half price deal. You buy three, we send you six, $29.97 or $44.85 if you'd like to go for those ones. Now, we've got some stencils. Now, they're stencil and stamp collections, which are not that common really, but when you see these and how they work together, you'll understand why we've put them together. These are fantastic because you're getting 8 in that collection. They're $41.94 or $53.70 with a fantastic saving on there as well. We've also got a absolutely killer collection of embossing folders for you. These are gorgeous, some of your all-time favorites in here. Really excited to see what Fiona does with these a little later in the show. £29 or $41 gets you all of those. And let's face it, you're gonna need, Fiona, Fiona, you're just nodding, thoroughly nodding at that one, aren't you? Yeah,
I mean, that is a fantastic set of folders. It's got my all-time ever favorite in there, which is the Country Garden, which looks amazing. Whether you're going to just emboss a piece of black card and then use your pigment inks over it, or whether you are going to just emboss your white card and get your distress inks on it. Fantastic. So you've also got 2 of Sarah's signature rose gold collection folders in there, and I've been playing with both of those. We're going to be demonstrating both of those with the pigment inks, and I've got a lovely demo if we get a chance to do it with the Decadent Lily. In that collection, you've got a cut and emboss, you've got 3D folders, and you've got standard embossing folders as well. They're all fantastic, and if you don't have any of them in your collection, now's the time to grab them.
Absolutely, saving over £10, over $13 there. We've also, let's face it, if you've gone for beautiful ink pads, you're going to need somewhere to store them. These are fantastic. It's a buy one, get one free. So you're actually getting 12 trays. That's enough to store 36 ink pads, which is awesome. You can put your Spectrum ink pads in there. They've got a little lip or ledge inside as well. So if you've got things like your distress ink pads or the little square ones, they will also go in there as well. $16.99 or $24.95. Right. We're already getting a lot of questions in already, which is brilliant. We love that. What I think we'll do is we'll let Fiona get a demo or two out of the way, and then what we'll do is we'll have a big question and answer session and go through all of these questions, because there's loads and loads already. Right, Fiona, over to you. What do you want to share with us first? Okay,
so the first thing I want to show you is come and have a look at these ink pads that I've got right in front of me. What I love about Crafters Companions packaging particularly is in big letters that anybody can read. They actually say on the front of them what they're for. So even if you forget what I'm saying in the next 2 hours, you can still read it. So your quick dry ink, it says for your crisp defined glares. For your opaque ink, it says for blending and embossing, and for your water reactive, it says blending and distressing. So it tells you on there. Now the other thing you'll notice, if I just take the lids off here, is the actual carriers are different for each one because they've got different molecules, so they need different things. So for your water reactive, you've got a very firm felt pad, which is absolutely juicy. For your quick dry, you've got a softer, I wonder if you can, I'm going to hold that up there. Can you see you've got a softer sponge? But that's because the quick dry have got a bigger molecule in them, so you need a slightly softer sponge. But then when you go to your opaque, which is a huge big pigment molecule, look how soft that is. So you can tell that color is gorgeous, isn't it?
I love that.
Spring meadow, I love it. And with all of our ink pads, you'll see that they're oval. That means you've got this bit here, which is for all your fine detail, and then you've got a nice big space where you can get in for all your stamps as well. Right, we are going to be playing first of all with a quick dry inks, and that means we're going to be doing crisp layers on there as well. So your quick dry inks are a water-based ink. So that means you can also use your quick dry inks with your alcohol pens as well. Because you remember, if you're using an alcohol pen, which has got an alcohol base, you need something opposite so that it doesn't smudge. So the thing you use opposite, you either use our finesse or you're going to use our quick dry inks because these are water based, these ones here.
So other than our pen, let me try and get this right, Fiona. I had this question, I should have formed it in my head before I started talking at you. Other than our ink pads that are for watercolouring, so our specific watercolouring ones, are all of our coloured ink pads a water-based ink?
Well, no, because the sticky ink pads are a pigment base.
Okay.
So these are the ones which have got a sticky carrier. This is why you can use the embossing with them, because this is a sticky ink. And then you've got your finesse waterproof ink, which is alcohol based.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So,
I'm following. I'm making notes.
Okay. Any questions, just keep them coming. Keep them coming. Okay, so I'm going to be using this awesome stamp set. Now, this is the Robin Redbreast, and it's a layering stamp. And you can see there, it's got the beautiful robin in there. And these are all the stamps you get. What I particularly love about Crafters Companions layering stamps, and you can see them down there, is this right angle here. What that means is that you can get foolproof layering without having to worry. You also get in there, you get a die to cut the robin out, and you also get a really useful tag die as well. And this is just one of a whole heap we've got in there. On the packaging, you can see, if I hold this up, you'll be able to see, you get your explanation of how you're going to stamp them. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. And then you cut it out with your die, and you're going to get that perfect robin. And on the back of the packaging, we even give you a serving suggestion of the quick dry inks that you're going to use. Now, the other thing which is your best friend when you're working with layering stamps is this marvelous thing here. This is your stamping platform. You've got magnets, 4 magnets on here. The magnets are strong enough to hold the paper and card, but not so strong that you have to have a jackhammer to get them off.
We've all been there.
Off the boards, you know. And I mean, sometimes you sit there and you go, "Oh my goodness, no, stop! We need something we can actually move." So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my stamps, and I'm going to stamp layer 1. So this is my layer 1. It says 1 on the packaging, which is why I've kept it on there. So what we're going to do is just turn this over and pop the stamp down. Now, Leanne will give you a very clever way of just counting the squares to know where it is. There we are. And I am just going to, bear with, I'm disappearing.
If you want that as stamping platform, it's available right there on the show for you now, $24.99 or $29.99. It's been out of stock, it was out of stock for such a long time. It's great that we've finally got it back.
Okay, so you can see what I'm doing is I'm stamping this. Now I'm stamping the body with Chinese red. Now, as far as I know, you can still get that as an individual ink, Joe.
I believe you can. Do check the website for that. Should check the website anyway, because there's so much stuff in every show, Fiona. We never get a chance to show people.
Absolutely.
Get yourself over to craftscompanion.co.uk.com.au. You can see everything there that's available on the show. I love this colour.
Isn't it beautiful? Now, can you see what I'm going to do is I'm just marking. You probably can't see because I put my great big head in the way. There we go. I've just marked the square, the intersection where I've put that square edge just there.
Awesome.
That just saves me having to count. That's all that does, is it saves me having to count. And because I've put it on the other side, it's not going to get moved by any of my inks. Now, these are photopolymer stamps. They're a really strong stamp. Look at that.
Oh, beautiful.
Isn't that stunning already? So then we're going to go to layer 2. Now, layer 2, I'm going to stamp using Friar Brown. Now, Friar Brown is in your collection. Now, can you see how useful that little dot is for me? I just line that up, let the stamp fall, and it's absolutely going to be in the right place. And then I am going to stamp up layer 2. So I've got...
If we did this with another regular ink pad, or like a water reactive then, Fiona, even if the original stamped image had dried, would it kind of re-wet it?
It would.
The wet ink.
That's it. Because if you've got a water-based product going on top of a water-based product, Joe, exactly that. If I used my water reactive ink pads, the minute I stamp that next colour down, what you would get is the red underneath, where it's layering over the top, would be reactivated. So what you get is a mushy colour.
Right.
So we're going to put the final layer on here as well. So what we're going to do is grab my final stamp. And again, I'm using that dot that I've just put there. By the way, that dot will clean off the other side. It just makes it nice and easy. Do you know the storage is also fantastic because it will keep everything to hand. I mean, it's just fabulous. And the other thing is, of course, you can make it as tall or as flat as you want, depending on your crafting space. Now, look, this is the seal brown. This is an amazing colour. Absolutely amazing colour. And then we're going to stamp this over. And you know, isn't it easy? I don't have to worry that that stamp is in the right place, because I know if I've got that angle at the top,
you're going to get it.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Look at that. How amazing does that look? And then what you can do, if you want, is you can bring the die over and you've got the perfect die to cut the robin out. And then when you put it all together, if I'm just going to move this one out the way, here we go. There we are. I'm just going to move that one out the way, because you know what will happen if I don't, Joe. I'm going to put my hand or my elbow in it or something. I love the fact that Joe thinks I'm a tidy crafter.
All I can say is
you forget.
I work with Debbie a lot, Fiona. As well.
Right.
And I'm not saying she's messy. I'm just saying maybe she's not the most tidy. I'm only joking. If you're watching, Debbie, you know I love you. So
you can see now, if I bring in this one, what I've done is I've run this one through. I've used my die and just cut out my little robin. And I mean, they just look sensational. They really look amazing. The detail in that is phenomenal.
And I think it's one of those things, you know, if it was just not right somehow, like obviously if the alignment had been slightly out, or if the colours had have started to reactivate each other, it would just look odd, and it'd be one of those things where you'd look at it and you just know it wasn't right, but you just wouldn't know why. Whereas that is so clean and clear and crisp. And the other thing as well, because they layer over each other, I mean, you could maybe, if you were very talented, go back in with a brush and sort of paint that colour change in, but that's going to be hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because look, this is the quickest and easiest card. So I'm just making myself a little easel card, as you can see. So this is, in case anybody wonders, it's 5 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. I do old school when it comes to measurements. So here we go. We're just going to pop this on there and pop that bit on there. Just so. There
Loads
we go.
of questions still coming in, Fiona.
Oh, fantastic.
Keep getting them in. Any questions that you've got, as we go through, we will pop them across to Fiona as we go. A lot of first-time commenters. Susan says, first-time commenter for the 1,000th time. That doesn't count, Susan. It really doesn't count. But thank you. I do love it. A lot of people welcoming you back as well, Fiona.
Oh, thank you.
And also some of our viewers watching you for the first time as well, because obviously, you know, hundreds and thousands of new viewers, of course, since the whole lockdown period. Lots of extra eyes. So lots of people saying hello. Jane saying hello from Saint Raphael in the south of France.
Oh, that sounds exotic. That sounds exotic.
I wouldn't mind being there with a glass of something cold, would you, Fiona?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Just sitting, watching the clouds go by.
Just perfect. With a spritz of some description.
It would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Really lovely. So if I pop that down there, can you see how does
Beautiful.
Doesn't that robin stand up straight? I mean, absolutely gorgeous, really quick and easy, and it's all done with those wonderful, wonderful layering stamps, which enables you to get those beautiful colours in all of them. So if you've not tried the quick dry inks, try them. They're fantastic.
Absolutely. Right, the quick dries, £50 or $70 if you want to get all of them. I'll just run you back through the colours that you're getting as well, because you're getting a really lovely selection of colours in here. You're going to get the Chinese red. You're also going to get the honey pot, the lemon tonic. There's the fuchsia, pink tulip, noir black, lagoon oasis, parakeet, sandstorm, ocean blue, baby blue, and the green topaz. If you're unsure of what they look like, whether you've got them already, pop yourself over to the website. There you can see all the colours with the little colour swatches as well. You see absolutely everything that's included. A great saving there as well. You're saving over almost £15, over $20 too. You can get your Club Inspired discount on top of that as well. Platinum members in the UK, you'd save an extra £10. In the US, Platinum members, I'd get an extra £14 off of there, which is brilliant. Now, they are an essential. Now, also, what Fiona was using just there were those Stampin' Dies. Now, we've got these available for you on the show, and you can see here how they build up from the first layer to the second layer to the third layer, which is amazing. And they make it it's so detailed. It's the texture that you get with them, which is absolutely amazing. You've got 8 different collections in here. So you've got the robin, you've got the tree. Now, not only have you got everything you need for the focal point, you've also then got stamps in here as well, which will allow you to turn this into a full finished project, which I think is always very, very important. You've then got this lovely Christmas scene here, which is the reason for the season, is what that one's called. This one here is that gorgeous frame. Now, I love this. This is your festive flurry that you've got there. If you were into your foiling and you wanted to monogram into that empty space, I think that would look absolutely gorgeous. This reminds me of my mum's Christmas decorations, because she loves a garland. My mum, they're absolutely everywhere at Christmas, and this is your decorative garland that you've got just here. A beautiful frame. This is your festive wreath, that one there. You've then got this one. I love how traditional these are as well. This one here is your festive foliage. Then you've got your baubles too, and this is your beautiful baubles. And then, of course, back around to the robin. If you want to get all 8 of those, you can. £93 or $125 if you want to get your hands on those. Everyone will get free postage and packaging and free shipping and handling on there. We'll also throw in a tape pen as well, just to make it extra juicy, that deal for you. Now, what we've also got is a great deal. And do you know, I say a great deal, when I say a great deal, I mean a great deal, because this is the one that absolutely everyone waits for. The deal that everyone waits for on our storage trace. It's the buy one, get one free deal that we've got for you. Let me just open this up so you can have a little look at what you're getting in here. So they are fantastic, because what they do is they all stack up beautifully for you to store your ink pads in there. Now, you can stack them up straight if you want, vertically, so you can put them against a shelf. You can actually have them so they cascade backwards as well. You can't really see them on my blue shirt there, can you? There you are. So they cascade backwards as well, and what you're able to do is get all of your ink pads in there. In fact, Fiona's got a gorgeous display over there. These are awesome, aren't they, Fiona? They are amazing, because you can see here, this is 12 stacked up, as Joe was saying. So if I turn that round, you can see what happens is you can actually take these off. So can you see I've got this set, just a little bit inset, but look, this is why they're great. So if you just want
two stacked up, you can have just two and you can put them in a long line. But if you want a tower like mine, you absolutely can, and that stays nice and solid as well, which is just fantastic.
Awesome. Right, we're going to move on to the pigment inks in just a second. Do you fancy a few questions, Fiona?
Yes, fire away.
It's going to be like mastermind. Your chosen subjects are Crafter's Companion ink pads for the next hour and a half. So Maria says, how many ink pads are there in each collection, do you know, Fiona?
In total?
In total. Is it like 42 off the top of my head, I want to say?
I think it's something like that. But you're getting 13 in each of the bundles we've put together for this show. And they're a really good 13. They're going to work really, really well. And then it's a good, nice core for you to start. And then you can be adding ones in as and when you decide you want them.
Awesome.
But we will do a count up.
Awesome, we will. I'll let you know.
Someone will. Johnny, our producer, will do a count up.
Johnny, I can hear that keyboard whirling. I can hear him playing that calculator in the background there. June has asked on YouTube, can you emboss with the water reactive inks? Now, I'm not sure if she means like with an embossing folder or heat embossing, but both, I guess, Fiona.
Okay, with an embossing folder, yes. So if you want to do, bear with, you stay there.
We are staying here, don't you worry.
You stay there. Right, here we go. If you want to do your techniques, here we go. So if you want to use your water reactive on your folder to do a letterpress technique, which we will hopefully get a chance to do, yes, you can. If you want to heat emboss, so you want to emboss something, get that nice crisp image, and then use your clear over the top, you need this one. You need the sticky ink, which is the pigment ink, which is what we're going to look at next when we come back and do some demonstrations.
Awesome.
So sticky ink for your heat embossing, but for your letterpress embossing techniques, you can use your water reactive.
Awesome. Mary saying, which ink pads do you use glycerin with to blend?
That'll be the water reactive ones if you need to. I mean, our water reactive ink pads blend so beautifully, you shouldn't need to use glycerin to make them blend even further because they're going to blend beautifully anyway.
Awesome. Jodie wants to know which sets she can use a water brush with.
Okay, so your water reactive would be your best ones to use a water brush with. Your water reactive ones, the clue's in the name. So your Harmony water reactive ones are great for it. But to be fair, even with your pigment ink, you can probably get a bit of a blend going on if you really want to by using your water brush over them. They just don't blend as intensely as your water reactive ones.
Awesome. Dorothy asks, will the inks work on all types of paper?
Okay, so I would use, I mean, the answer is yes, but it depends what you want to do. I would say with your water reactive ones, you want to be using your watercolor card or your stamping card. For your pigment inks, they're going to work on pretty much any surface. So they're going to work on things like vellum, they're going to work on acetate. So if you want to heat emboss on acetate, the sticky ink will make them cling to that. You're also going to be able to use them because your pigment inks are opaque. You can also use these on things like your darker cardstocks as well. They're going to show up beautifully. You can also use them on your lighter cardstock as well. I've used these on watercolor card. I've also used them on stamping card, which is going to be great. Now your quick dry inks, remember, that is for your quick layering of colour that you don't want to move. You can use those on pretty much any of your surfaces. Uncoated cardstock is best. Nina works really well with your quick dry inks, but so does stamping card, and so does your watercolour card if you want to stamp on detail as well.
Awesome. Right, one more question now. There's loads more. We'll go through more as we go through the show. You can keep getting them in. Kathy asks, how do you clean quick dry ink off your stamp since it dries instantly? It's a great question.
It's a brilliant question, and the clever thing about quick dry inks is the minute it touches paper and card, it dries instantly. You stay there. I am just going to grab my stamp. So you saw me stamp these a moment ago, didn't you? You saw me stamp these. But the thing about quick dry inks is they only quick dry on paper and card. They don't quick dry on your stamps. So look, even with a dry cloth, can you see?
Oh yes.
I can still wipe that off, or just run them under the tap, because on anything which isn't paper and card, they're not going to dry. So they dry quickly on paper and card.
Awesome. Always
so
good.
There we are.
Awesome.
Glad we could help.
Right, we will do a couple more of these as we go through the show. So if you've got questions, you want to get them into us, you can over on Facebook, on the Crafters TV Facebook page. We're monitoring the comments there in the Facebook Live. If you're on YouTube, you can pop them into the comments there too. And remember, if you want to send us any pictures of any of your inky makes, we'd love to see them. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk is where you need to send those into. Right, we are going to move on, and we're going to move on to the Pigment Ink.
Yes.
Is what we are looking at next. I'll quickly run you through what you get included in the collection. So again, it's a 13-piece collection that you're going to receive. You are going to get Pumice, Misty Morning, Smoke Plume, Smoked Emerald. You've also got the Noir Black, the Pure White, the Frosty Jade, the Twilight Grey, the Spar Blue, Seal Brown, Anthracite, Friar Brown, and the Smoked Pearl. These are fabulous, I think, and so many of you let me know that you love using them because they are so incredibly versatile. They should be $64.87, however today £50, down from $90.35 in the US to $70. Right, I'm really excited to see what you're going to do with these, Fiona.
Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 quick demos. Now this is the one we're going to also give away. Now here you can see I've used the Midnight, I've used that beautiful spring green, and I have used the Noir Black and also the Emerald. Now can you see, if I tilt that, not only have you got all of that beautiful stencil work, but can you see the stamps just peeking in just there as well? Because this is the thing, you can get incredible layers with these, but because these are a sticky ink, look at that. Can you see? Now this is a technique where you use the sticky ink on your folder and then you can heat emboss over it. So this is the Midnight used with that rose bloom folder.
That is gorgeous, Fiona.
Isn't it pretty? But you know, you've got a folder, so you're going to get 2 looks, whether you emboss or deboss. Don't they look stunning? That is a perfect base for a card. But because these inks are opaque, here we go. So because these inks are opaque, there's that cut and emboss folder. And can you see what I've done? I've been a bit cheeky, and I've got some of the Armidas gold ink pad in there as well, stunning, which is also stunning. But look, can you see how that ink pad shows up beautifully on dark card? But can you see that stamp in the center there? Write your own story.
Oh yeah.
That is being embossed using clear over Pigment Ink Pad. So you've got so many different things that you can do with this. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with this one, and this is the one which we're going to use as a giveaway. So this
brilliant
is the one we're going to use as a giveaway, but I'm going to show you how you can make it.
And all you need to do is comment. We'll just pick one at random at the end of the show. So make sure you keep getting your comments in on Facebook and on YouTube. A lot of people let me know what they're going for as well. Kathy Cox says, I've been waiting for the quick drinks for ages. Have just got them and the stories. So thanks for the great deal, guys. You're more than welcome, Kathy.
Okay, so look, I've got 3 gorgeous, and these are 3 colours which come with your ink pad. So I've got Spring Meadow, I've got the Midnight, and I've got the Smoked Emerald just there. And remember now, these, because the pigment is a bigger molecule, it needs a stickier, heavier carrier, which is why this is on that nice sponge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my little eggs, which I think we've got on the show.
We do have them on the show, indeed. They are available for you. So you get 4 of them, which is lovely.
Fantastic. And then what I'm going to do is just make myself a squidgy background. Now you don't need to worry at this stage. All you're doing is putting down colour, but look how beautifully that colour just blends onto the card. Absolutely gorgeous. Now the cardstock I'm using here is our stamping card, but it could have been any of them, to be fair. So
I just admit, when you think about pigment ink pads, I don't immediately think about using a sponge or a blender to sort of lay the colour down. I don't know why, it just isn't the first thing that comes to my mind, Fiona.
Now the reason I do it is because they've got a very, very close texture, and it means you can get a nice soft blend, and for me personally it's just quicker. It is just a quicker way of laying down all of this fantastic colour. Look what happens when I start blending that beautiful blue over the yellow. Beautiful. Can you see? Now, don't worry if this looks not very, very smooth, because it doesn't need to be for this particular technique that I'm doing. So all I actually need to do is just make sure I get some swirls of colour down on here. Isn't that gorgeous? Really, really lovely.
Really beautiful. How long do these take to dry then? If you were just going to do an inky background, you weren't adding anything to it, or you weren't, you know, doing any more techniques, Fiona, would it take long to dry? They
take longer than your water reactive and your quick dry inks, obviously.
I love that I'm zero help to you there.
Words and pictures. Yeah, so they will take longer to dry than that, but maybe I'd say I'd leave them maybe an hour, if you're not going to put clear embossing over them,
not too
obviously.
Long.
Yeah, I mean, you're not talking ages by any stretch of the imagination. Can you see? I'm just going over with some more of that, and can you see how those colours are beginning to blend? You get this wonderful swirly background. I'm just going to go in now with some of my deeper colour as well. And this is the wonderful smoked emerald colour. It's a beautiful, beautiful green.
Really lovely technique. Beautiful background as
well. Isn't it?
I'll tell you what would look lovely. You know, like a sentiment die cut from a background like that, I think would just look gorgeous.
Stunning.
You might see some of those in my later cartload show with Sarah, which is a 3-hour Sarah cartload extravaganza. So make sure you join us for that a little later today.
Okay, so now I'm going to use, we've got some amazing stamps and stencils on the show, and I'm using two. I'm using the Make the Wish and Life's a Journey. I don't know how I missed these, because this was the first time I'd seen these, Joe.
Really?
I think they must have snuck them in without telling me. I really do.
Not maybe automatically, you wouldn't maybe automatically think to put a stamp and a stencil together, Fiona. It's not like you don't see a whole huge amount, do you, of stamps with stencils?
That's right, but do you know what? They are gorgeous, and they work brilliantly with your pigment ink, because look, it's going to go through, but it's not going to squish anywhere. So all I'm doing now, I just realised I put that map the wrong way around, but it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. I've just realised that the UK is pointing the wrong way. But you know what? It's fine.
It's 2020. Okay. It's fine.
So here we go. I'm going to do another one down here the right way round, just because I can. So we'll just put a bit of the UK in.
I love that green.
It's stunning, isn't it? I mean, and because these are opaque inks, you can really build up the colour. So where I've got that dark colour underneath, you're really going to see. Now, I'm not going to be too specific with my land masses, because I just want it to be a bit of a background. Can you see?
Beautiful.
So we're just, because all we're doing at the moment is we're just layering up texture, and we're just going to bring in some of these circumferences and these timelines as well. And I'm going to use the darker colour, the darker green, just to pop these. I mean, they're gorgeous, aren't they?
Really,
absolutely
really
amazing.
Very busy as well on our Pigment Ink Pads, getting busier and busier there, Fiona. People loving these demonstrations.
Do you know what? I just think they're so versatile. It's like people will start with the others and they'll look at the pigments and go, but what are they for? But do you know what? Crafter's Companion pigment inks are superior to other pigment inks I have used out there. I have got, from when I first started crafting, a heap of pigment inks, which, to be fair, I wasn't getting the results and I thought it was me. And with these inks, because they are that fantastic quality, you are going to get this incredible stenciling going on. Look at that background. Look how it's coming together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to use the dotty stencil. Now the other thing about this is, look how quickly I can do this. So we're going to start with the dotty. Now I may...
A few of these stencils and a few ink pads, I think you could have a lot of fun, Fiona. You could just sit down with some different ink pads, some cardstocks, just having a good old play and just make loads and loads of wonderful backgrounds. Yeah,
absolutely. And the thing is, don't be, with a background like this, the key to it is don't be too precise. So you'll see I'm just being really quite random, but look how that is beginning to come together. Isn't that gorgeous?
Beautiful.
And then we're going to go in and we're going to do some of these wonderful, wonderful dandelion heads. So let me just pop those back, and I'm just going to grab my Noir Black.
Maybe think about your own patterned papers using these ink pads as well, if you wanted to. You know, like that. Look, that could be an amazing.
Definitely.
That could be an amazing paper from a pad that you'd bought quite comfortably. That you'd go out and spend quite a lot of money on. You can make that yourself with these, which is wonderful.
This is the thing, and the thing is, when you suddenly realise just how remarkably, remarkably easy it is. I don't know why I had to say the sound, but there you go. One of those things. But look, it's the detail that you can get in here as well. The precision that you can get when you're stenciling with these is extraordinary. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that. I mean, absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? So I'm just going to do a little head down here.
And the thing is, if you're making these background papers yourself, that, you know, the great thing, Fiona, no one else is going to have a background paper like that ever, which is wonderful.
That's it. These are yours, your unique creation, and don't get too exercised about it. I mean, this is the other thing. This is meant to be fun. At the end of the day, what you're taking is now look at that. Can you see I've got some black dots there? What we're going to do is we're just going to rub those away. Look at that. Blended it away with the blended sponge. So look, magic gone. There we go. So now we're going to turn and we're going to do some of the stamping with these as well. So this time I'm going to use my rocker blocks as well, because what I want to do, you get two fantastic stamp sets with these as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Beautiful.
Really
Rocker
nice.
Blocks half price, which is lovely. It's a 6-piece collection. You can get them for £9.99 or £13.99. Loads of love for all of these demonstrations coming in, Fiona.
Oh, good.
Kathy saying love the blended backgrounds. Teresa saying I've been collecting some ink pads. This show is so helpful, so thanks for that.
Fantastic.
Christine, upstate New York, says how the whole show of products. I am loving it. Tempting Tatiana on YouTube says I so want to learn to make that card about your giver. Well, you kind of just learned here. What I would also say as well, if you want to share this on Facebook or save it or bookmark it on YouTube, come back and watch it anytime. But remember as well, all of our shows live forever over on our website, so you will always be able to find them there as well. Tracy saying she has the ink pads and ink pad holders and loves them. And finally, Genius is so excited about Inkpad 101 Masterclass today. I've recently ordered tons of stamps and dies. Now I need to get myself some ink pads too. I think you do. I must admit, Fiona, like a long time ago, like in a previous life, before I had my horizons broadened by all of the talented people I get to work with, I genuinely thought that an ink pad was just to put ink on a stamp, like a sentiment stamp, and then stamp it out. And then it blew my mind when I started to see all these other ways that they could be used as well. Absolutely.
And you know, the nice thing about pigment inks is you can layer. Now I'm just going to hold this one forward, just so hopefully you can see. So can you see that stamp, that script stamp I've used? I've used it with, and I used the smoke plume, which you're also getting, because I don't want it to stand out. I just want it to be part of that incredible layered background that I've got going on there. Isn't that pretty?
It's really wonderful.
Really
and it almost
nice.
looks like, with the lines that you put in the top right corner, they almost look like that is where the ink has, it's almost looked like it's removed the ink from there. I'm not quite sure how it works and how they go together, but it's very impressive.
I mean, this is just such good fun. And I mean, the thing is, all you need to do is play. Isn't that fantastic? So again, I'm going in now and I'm using the Midnight, and we've got 3 little heads, which dandelion heads, which I'm just going to overstamp a bit randomly.
How do you know when to stop, Fiona? I bet it's one of those things, you get caught in the moment, you're having so much fun, and then you're like, Oh, it's just all ink now. I can't see what's on there.
Do you know, there's a reason why this show took me so long to prepare, Joe. And that's because I started with the pigment inks. I mean, the thing is, I love all of them, but particularly the pigment inks and the water reactive inks. I like messy crafting. This is the thing. I really enjoy messy crafting. And for me, this is just absolute bliss. This is my play time, if you like. So again, now when you're layering, when you're stamping words, you're going to get that beautiful fine detail. But when you are stamping words, what you're going to do is you're going to do lots and lots of light taps. Can you see? What you don't want to do is squash this down, because that's a really soft ink pad. And if you squodge it down, what you're going to do is you're just going to get ink all over the place where you don't need it. So I'm now going to pop this here. So can you see what I'm going to do? There you go.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, so can you see? So there's the one that I've just started, and you've got all of that detail in the background. You've got that journey used in the background. You've got the world map in there that you can just see every bit and piece. And if I bring in this one, so exactly the same way, and then all I've done to finish that off is add a couple of sparkles, and I've just used my white gel pen just to highlight a few of the letters. But there you go. In real time, you've seen exactly how to make it.
Absolutely gorgeous. And if you want to create that, you want to be making all of these vast array of different backgrounds and projects, it's the pigment inks that you need in order to create that. Let's run you through and just show you again absolutely everything that you're getting in this collection, because you're getting 13 fantastic ink pads in here. So you're going to get the pumice, you're also going to get the misty morning, there is also the smoked plume, the smoked emerald, we've got the noir black, the pumice, frosty jade, twilight grey, spar blue, let's try that again, shall I? Spar blue, seal brown, anthracite, fry brown, and smoked pearl. So these are all of the different colours that you're going to get included there. £50 or $70 if you want to get them. Everyone gets a great saving on them as well. Now the stencils are super busy. Shall I take you through exactly what you're getting with the stencils? Now, these are brilliant because as Fiona was just saying, you're not really all that often you see a stencil and stamp collection together, but easy to see why they've done this, because it really does work. So what you've got in here is your first one here. This is one that you saw Fiona using. This is the Make-A-Wish. Now you get your stencil in, which is great because yes, you can ink through it, but also think about spritzing through it. Think about using your glitter paste through there, your texture paste, your gesso, all of those different things. You can of course use our stencils as embossing folders as well if you want to. They are strong enough to go through your Gemini with that embossing mat if you want to pop them through there. So that one's Make-A-Wish. You've then also got Life is a Journey, which is this one just here. We've then got It's Time. Now I love this one with all the clocks. You could really steampunk that one up, I think, if you wanted to. The next one you've got is Back to Nature. Really got to be really great for all those autumnal projects that you want to be creating. The next one here is Life Happens, and again with the cogs there and the walls, could be really great as a steampunky theme, that one. You've then got Write Your Own Story, which is with all the words there, and then you've got Happiness Blooms, which is that one just there. And then your favourite one usually is this one here, in fact, which is Music and Lyrics, which is a really versatile one. So you can get all of them, 8 collections there for you, $41.94. Now that's great because that's just over £5 per collection, which is really good value for money. If you're in the US, $53.70 to get hold of all of them. You can of course use your Club Inspired discount on those as well, should you want to. Oh, now I do need to remind you about the magnetic stamping platform with the large base. This is absolutely incredible. You guys love this because what it does is it allows you to line this up perfectly every single time. You've got magnets on here as well, so you're going to get precise stamping every time. If you've got something like our layering stamps, as Fiona showed you, you want to use rotating stamps. Maybe you just don't have the best dexterity and you just find that you don't get that clean, clear, crisp stamp first time. This is great because you can re-ink, come in and then line it up. Thanks to those little feet on there, it lines up every single time. $24.99 or $29.99. It was out of stock for a really long time. Definitely grab it whilst we have it available for you. Right, we're going to move on, and we're going to move on to something very, very special. It is our water reactive inks. Now, these are gorgeous, and I must say, the colours are stunning in all the collections that we've got on the show for you, but none more so than in these gorgeous water reactive inks. I want you to see those beautiful colours. Check out all of those gorgeous colours that are in there. So what you're going to get is you're going to get the Chinese red, you're going to get the honey pot, you're also going to get lemon tonic, fuchsia, pink tulip, noir black, lagoon oasis, parakeet, you're getting sandstorm, ocean blue, baby blue, and the blue topaz as well. So you can see there absolutely everything you're getting. £50 or $70 is your price, saving almost £50 or over $20. You can use your Club Inspired discount with that as well. These are absolutely fantastic. I know you are going to love them. After this next demonstration, I'm going to ask Fiona another round of questions. So, yeah, I hope you're ready for that, Fiona.
Oh, yes.
Kristin says, never thought to use the pigment ink for backgrounds that don't use embossing powder. Genius, and so many more possibilities just opened up there. Jeffrey says, welcome back, Fiona. Great and outstanding demos and education on the inks as always. June saying, well, I ordered this set of stencils and stamps a week or so ago, waiting for arrival. Now I'm going to get the pigment ink pads out because I love making backgrounds. Sure Pack on YouTube says, so grateful that I can rewatch shows and demos I can enjoy and then go back and take notes as needed. And finally, Eleanor says, I'm really enjoying the show, so we can understand more about each of the different ink pad techniques and what we can do with them. Absolutely. Any questions, get them in. I've got loads already, but I'll pop some more over to Fiona after this next demonstration as well. Fiona, the colours in this next collection, oh my, aren't they lovely?
Aren't they gorgeous? And would you believe me if I said the whole of this background is made with just 3 of those 13 colours that you're getting, just 3. You've got in here, you've got the parakeet, the lemon tonic, and the fuchsia. If I had to go for a set of colours that I wanted, these are they. And you can see I've used the ink to stencil with, and I've used the ink to create the background, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. Now, we're starting with watercolour card, and this is my impromptu water pot, which was what I was scurrying around for because I forgot to bring one in. So I found one. The first one I grabbed leaked, but there we go. So we're going to use lemon tonic, parakeet, and fuchsia, and it says here, it says for blending and distressing. So yes, you can blend with this, but you can also paint with this. So I am using my Inkpad as a palette. Now, because this is a nice firm ink pad, it means I'm not going to squish out a load of ink when I push that, so I can push it nice and take. But look, let's just pick up some of this colour and start getting it onto this cardstock, because it is absolute. Look at the colour on there. Beautiful. That is summer in a colour. That is every lemon that you want. Do you know, it reminds me of the Mediterranean, that colour, that really bright yellow that they have there with the blues. It's just so it reminds
me of delicious lemon sorbet. That's what I'm thinking.
Or lemon meringue pie.
Oh yes. Delicious.
How fantastic. So you can see I've got my lemon going on there, and I'm just going to be good and wipe that bit up. Now, if I were at home, I'd be leaving my mat to get nice and messy, then spritzing it with water, and then picking up the colour on a spare piece of card. Now, if the lemon was amazing, look at that colour. Isn't that gorgeous? This is the pink. Oh my word, it is stunning. We're going to go in and we're going to start here. Whoa. So you'll notice what I did was I started a bit back, and then what I'm going to do is pick up some more and start blending that into the yellow. So can you see, as I'm going over that yellow, I'm getting that beautiful orange tone going on. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, they really are stunning, stunning, stunning colours. So we're going to...
I'm not sure when you'd want to, Fiona, but can you paint with them like neat, without water? Can you use a brush to put the neat ink onto your cardstock?
If you wanted to, I mean, just use a damp brush. I would always suggest use a damp brush and then just dry it off, as I'm doing now, because you don't want to be saturating your brush and wasting the colour.
Of course.
So always use a, always use a dampened brush. Now, look at that.
Wow.
This is why I love these three colours. They are, without doubt, some of the best colours going. So we're going to take this blue, look at this. And I mean, if I had to pick three colours that I would choose above all else, and these are not the only three. This is the thing. What you've got in here is you've not only got these amazing colours, but you've also got 10 others. So remember, this is just the beginning. So here we go. I'm just going to go in and add a little more of this pink in here so that that purple really stands out. But look at that blend. Isn't it gorgeous?
Wonderful. It really is gorgeous.
Lovely.
I love that sort of deep blue that it creates when it hits the pink as well.
Isn't it really stunning? Lovely. Isn't it stunning? And do you know what? I'm just going to hit that end.
Oh, wow.
With the blue as well. So now it goes from green to yellow to orange to pink to that beautiful, beautiful bright colour. I mean, all of that out of three
you've got
ink pads.
6 or 7 different colours there.
Yes.
Just from those 3 ink pads. How awesome is that? You have so much fun blending your own colours. Can you blend your own colours off the page and then pop them on the page,
yes.
Fiona, if you wanted to?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So if you wanted to take a little bit of yellow, and this is where this ink pad shape comes into its own, because look, I'm just using the end there, and then what I can do is just take a damp, there we are, green. So now, let me turn that over, just so you can see.
Oh, how awesome.
Look at that, you've got that incredible turquoise green. Joe, it's fantastic, isn't it? Isn't it amazing?
I can't imagine how many different colours you're going to create at home once you get these back. It's going to be infinite, isn't it? You'll be playing around. You're always going to have the right colour for the job, though, because you just make your own if you don't.
Now, look. What I'm doing, I've just got some water in a little spritzer bottle. This is why we say water reactive. So even though I've got those colours on there, can you see how that water's making those colours move? This is sometimes called faux bleaching. So you spritz something with water, you can flick it with water, or you can do it specifically. But then when I just look at that,
how gorgeous.
Joe, isn't that?
I love the colour of your kitchen towel as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just amazing. Right, I'm just going to dry that, and then we're going to do some stenciling over the top, Joe.
Awesome. Very busy on these already. Lots of comments coming in. Loads of you loving them. Kathy saying, I think the water reactive ink pads are my favourite. Elva saying, loving the show. Susan says, I would never have thought to paint the ink in the card blank. Brilliant. And Christine says, well, I never thought to use a pigment ink for backgrounds. Really loving those. Loads of questions coming in, and I'll pop those to Fiona as we go through the show. So I see you're using a heat tool, Fiona.
Yeah.
Do you get any sort of difference between a heat tool just letting it dry naturally, or just for speed?
No, this is purely for speed, because I have got a few more demonstrations, so if we get more time. I don't know where the time goes with these shows. It's just flying, isn't it?
Really, when you're having fun, Fiona, it absolutely
well, I'll tell you what,
flies.
we won't let Sarah come in for cartload at 4 o'clock.
No, we'll just keep going. Perfect. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure she'll have
that. We'll just lock the door. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
We might need there's a tiny little window, so we might need a little blind, or I'll get some cardstock over the window, and she won't know that we're still in here. It'll be absolutely fine. Very busy on the water reactive ink pads, I must say. I know that they are amongst your favourite, and the colours in there are absolutely incredible as well. I'll just recap what you're getting in there, because you are getting, remember, the Chinese red, the honey pot, the lemon tonic, the fuchsia, the pink tulip, the noir black, the lagoon, the oasis, parakeet, sandstorm, ocean blue, baby blue, and the green topaz. Look at all of those beautiful colours that you've got to play with. Club Inspire Platinum members in the UK can get an extra £10 off of these. Club Inspire, I don't know what that is. Club Inspire members in the US can save an extra $14, which is fabulous. Now, I see you've got the blending tool. I know we have got those on the show as well, so pop yourself across to the website if you want to get hold of those.
So I'm using that beautiful music stencil, and you can see it's got all these wonderful lines. So what I've done is I'm just going in, and this is probably how you more traditionally are used to seeing these used, which is just to add a bit of colour through stencils or just using them straight on. The reason why I think these are superior is the blendability. Look at that, I've got that beautiful line going on, and again, this is about building your own backgrounds, really. So again, I'm still using the parakeet, by the way. So we're still on that beautiful parakeet colour. We're just going to put some of these, almost like staves, but maybe not quite. And again, even as I go over that colour that I've put in the bottom, can you see? Look, it's beginning to look amazing. I'm just going to bring that in again.
It's beginning to look a lot like Fabulous, Fiona, is what it's beginning to look a lot like.
Fantastic. So then we're going to put this treble clef and some of these music in. I just think if you've got anybody musical,
are you musical,
in your
Fiona?
Do you know, I can't play a paper comb. Paper and comb, really can't. But my nephews and nieces, oh my word. Shall I tell you a secret?
Oh yes,
When
please.
my nephews and nieces were very, very young, sort of like 5 or 6, my niece, bless her, said, Auntie Fiona, I really want to learn to play the violin. And I thought, yes, genius, Laura, I will love that and your mum will hate it. Because there is nothing worse than somebody learning to play the violin. And I said, right, okay, well, I'll tell you what we'll do, Laura. We will get you some music lessons, and if you love it, you can then carry on. So for her and for her 2 younger brothers, as they turned 6, we got them 6 months. 6 months of lessons. And do you know, my sister used to phone me up, because she lives up in Shetland. She used to phone me up, and she used to wait until they were practicing, phone me up, and then just put the phone on loudspeaker. And you could hear them screeching away in the background. But do you know what? They're all brilliant musicians now. And they're all, I mean, they're just stunning. One
summer I lived in a semi-detached house near Cambridge, and our neighbours at the start of the summer holidays got their son an electric guitar and no lessons. They never played one before. So can you imagine?
My word.
It was an interesting summer, let's put it that way.
Now look how incredible this stencil, and again, I haven't used anything other than those 3 colours, but the bundle is absolutely awesome. And then when you've got it to there, look at that for a background. Doesn't that look amazing?
Got a bit of like a swinging 60s vibe to it, hasn't it?
Hasn't it? It really has. And then I'm just going to grab another rocker block. That's the very thing, Fiona. That's a rocker block. Okay, I'm going to grab, we've got Bordeaux in this.
In this one
here, haven't we?
I don't think so.
Have we
I'm
not?
Check. No, we got pink tulip, fuchsia, the Chinese red are your sort of deepest, darkest ones.
Okay, we're going to go Chinese red then.
Awesome.
We're going to go Chinese red, and I've got this wonderful. Now, can you see how much harder I'm tapping this down? Because I'm not having to worry that, because this is a firm felt pad, it's not going to squish like my pigment inks are.
Okey-doke.
So you can go in and just give it a good old tap. What I could also have done with this is I could have used, had I been quick enough, I could have used, do you know what?
I love this. I can feel the cogs whirring from over here, Fiona.
Yeah.
There's something amazing's about to happen. I sense it.
Well, I just thought, why don't I use my quick dry ink, because that is for your crisp defined layers. So why not use that one? Yeah, can you see how much softer that ink pad is? So
I can hear it, in fact.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of over colour. Now the thing about using rocker blocks is you don't get the colour transfer going around, but I had taken it to extremes there. So here we are, so we can just line it up. Now when you're using rocker blocks, it's got 2 guidelines here, and then you've got this rocking motion. Now don't use this if you have got foam on the back of your stamps in the States, because it makes it too thick for that. You've also got a nice crosshair in there as well. So now you rock it heel to toe. Look at that. Music is what feelings sound like.
How fabulous
I think
is that?
That is a gorgeous, gorgeous card. I mean, that, and again, do you know, isn't it amazing about Crafters TV? What I particularly love about that is, look, this is one I made at home. That's one you've seen me take from a piece of plain watercolour card to that in minutes.
And the thing is, Fiona, that looks so expensive, but let's say once you've invested in the ink pads, so they are a little bit of an investment, we know that.
They are.
But they're something going to last you a really long time. What does that cost you, really? The cost of one piece of watercolour cardstock.
Yeah.
And it looks absolutely incredible. I actually love the idea of having them just as like little postcards, you know, Fiona, just not on a card at all, just something you can just put up on a mirror somewhere. You keep it up for ages because it looks so beautiful.
So I was just going to show you some of the other cards we've got with these stencils, because I've just realised I've got a whole box full here and I've not shown you. So look, you've got these great stencils and cards. So this one has got some texture. It's been used with the texture paste through. Or maybe there's another one with that music. Beautiful one with that world. It looks even better if I turn it up the right way, which is fantastic. But aren't these stunning? And you're getting all of these. I want to know how I managed to miss these first time round, because I haven't seen these, and I just think they are some of the most stunning cards that you can be making. I really do. And there's my particular offering just down there. Beautiful. There we go.
Really, really gorgeous. Now, a lot of viewers here on Craft TV are seeing you for the first time today, Fiona, which is very, very exciting. So I think what people want to know is, where can they normally find you? Because I know you'll be over on Create and Craft, but also let us know what your social media is as well, because loads of people are saying, oh, we want to keep up with Fiona, what she's up to.
Okay, so the main one I use is Fiona Clayton Crafter's Companion. Go and find my page. I put all of my makes on there, all my crafty doings. If you like looking at things in the bottom of coffee cups, I'm your woman. Absolutely. You'll find a lot of pictures of the bottom of my coffee cup, which is good fun. But you can find me there. I'm also on UK TV, so you'll find me on Create and Craft. But actually, I'm going to be doing more of Crafters TV as well. Yay! Because I am back up here on the 24th of this month as well. Ooh. And I think I've got 2 days of shows. Can't remember what I'm doing, but I know I'm here. There you go.
Awesome. You'll be here with Ben, I believe, on the 24th and the 25th.
Mr.
So
Mosby. I'm looking forward to catching up with him.
Indeedy. So it'll be lovely to have Fiona back up twice in 1 month. What an absolute
I know.
Unfortunately, though, you're with Johnny. I don't want to spoil. I wouldn't want to. I'm only joking, which is fabulous. Adam will also be here as well, which is pretty good news, to be fair. So so join them all on the 24th and the 25th. There'll be loads coming up. Lots of you coming up with lots of different questions as well. Right, should we recap? I tell you what. I'll do a few questions for Fiona.
Yes.
Before we do that, should we just recap the 3 different deals we've got on the 3 different Inkpad bundles, because it is really busy across all of them, and a lot of you now are making your mind up and coming in and placing your orders. Let's start with the quick dry ones. Wow. Okay, 1/3 of the stock of the quick dry side and gone. A lot of you with these in your baskets at the moment. In fact, I'm hearing a lot of you have got one of each collection in your basket at the moment. A lot of you seeing the value in all of them. If it's the quick dries you're after, you're going to get 13 wonderful colours in here. £50 or $70. It's a great deal. You're saving $14.87 in the UK, or $20.35 if you are in the US. Remember, you're going to get an extra £10 or $14 off if you're a Club Inspire Platinum member as well, which is lovely. Now we also have the Pigment Ink Pads available for you. These, again, really wonderful. Lots of versatility when it comes to pigment inks, with the different ways in which you can use them. £50 or $70 if you want to go for those. Again, the pricing structure is exactly the same. Really busy there. My favourite, I know we don't have favourites, but I think, the thing is, I always say that the pigment ones are my favourites, and then I see the water reactive ones demonstrated, and then I'm confused. I'll have 2 favourites. They could both be my second favourites. How about that? This one is your water reactive. I just love the pop of colour that you've got in here, from the pinks and the yellows and the blues and the reds. It's a really gorgeous collection. It is very busy. £50 or $70 if you want to go for those. If you're going for these, I would definitely recommend that you invest in somewhere to store them, because it's lovely that when you can have them all laid out, you can see what they are. These trays work stacked vertically. You can also clip them together horizontally as well if you wish. $16.99 or $24.95 would normally get you one. However, it's a buy one get one free deal. You're getting two for that price, and that means that you'll be able to store oh, I always do this to myself. So you'd normally be able to store 18, but you're getting two sets, so you'll be able to store 36, which is wonderful. Bit of quick math there. Oh, I scared myself. Right, should we do some questions then, Fiona?
Yes, let's do some questions,
because I'm getting so
Joe.
many. Karen says, are there re-inkers for any of these ink pads?
No, it's a short answer, but these pads will last you for ages. I mean, all you've got to do is remember to store them in your storage and pop your lid on. Because these are water-based pretty much, or pigment-based, they're not going to, I mean, if you leave the lid off and you go away on holiday for 2 weeks and come back, it's going to be dry as a bone. But so long as you actually put your lid back, you're not going to get that very quick evaporation that you get. So you don't need your re-inkers for these.
Yeah,
ones.
I had a conversation with Leanne not that long ago, you know, and said, how come we're not doing re-inkers? And Leanne said it's very, very difficult to get the original colour saturation back in whatever that carrier is. So when they're this kind of great price and they last for so long, it's why we don't choose to bring them to you. Right. Joe says, what is the best ink for coated card and mirror card?
Okay, for coated cardstock, like your... In fact, I'm going to show you, if I can.
Awesome.
No. Right, for coated cardstock, I would use...
It's a bit like Challenge Fiona.
It really is, isn't it? Okay, here we go. I've got a piece of mirror card here. Right, we're going back to the beginning. So the wonderful thing about the pigment inks with the coated cardstock is that you can get the most incredible colour going on. So let me just grab these ones out. Here we go. So I'll have that one, and I'll use these two so you can see. These will go onto different surfaces, and will go onto different surfaces nice and easily. So this, yeah, can you see that's got the sheen? This is Centura
can see that there,
Pearl.
that lovely pearlescence.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do, look how this is going to go on. It is just going to blend beautifully.
Oh, how awesome.
Look at this. Can you see? I mean, and what you still get coming through is you get that incredible shimmer going on. So there we go. There's that blue. And then we'll just grab some of this green and just look at this. I'll tell you what, wouldn't this make an awesome background to use on that card I just made?
Oh yeah,
if you want to get that pearlized finish going on.
Interestingly, you do get that pearlescence still coming through, which is
you
quite
really
nice.
do, you really do. So I've just done that bit there. Look at the different colours I've got, from that deep blue into the lighter blue and then into that spring colour. But if I pick this up, look at that.
I love that, Fiona.
Can you see? You've still got... There we go. That pearlescence
it
coming
almost
through.
looks like it's been like heat embossed, doesn't it?
It really, really does. It's fantastic. So yeah, your coated cardstocks, use your pigment inks.
Beautiful. Thanks for that. V Renee Whitley on Facebook says, what do you use to clean your stencils with, Fiona?
When I'm using my water reactive, I run them under the tap.
Awesome.
Or if need be, just a little bit of liquid soap and just give them a rush. They'll be fine.
Brilliant. Petra Pinkerton, what a wonderful name.
That's
on Facebook.
an incredible name.
It's a really good one, isn't it? Says, good afternoon, Fiona. Which pads are best for fine detail stamping, e.g. the recipe stamps from the Santa's Kitchen sets that were on yesterday?
Fantastic. Fine detail, I would go for your quick dry inks, because these ones say, if you have a look, for crisp defined layers. So if you've got things like the recipes, I would get yourself one of the deeper colours that you've got in the quick dry inks, and they're going to look amazing.
Awesome, always good to know. So Elizabeth says as well, are pigments best for stamping on Centura Pearl? They are. And also, June asks, which ink is best for stenciling? I guess you've got options really, haven't you, Fiona?
You have. I mean, I have used... most of them. I mean, quick dry would not, that would be my third choice, but pigment inks work amazingly with stencils. So do your water reactive inks as well. But I have done cards with the quick dry as well. In fact, I think somewhere here, I have got one. Yeah, right here. This card right here was done.
I love this one, Fiona.
And whilst it wasn't a stencil, what it was this was actually not one of mine. This is one of Kerry Noon's, but I've done something very, very similar. And what you do is you just tape out strips and then colour these blocks of colour. So you can do it, but what I would say is use Nina cardstock when you're doing something like that.
Awesome. And also one more question for this little instalment of Challenge Fiona. Betsy says, do you store them right side up or down?
Okay, I have seen lots of people who make lots of comments. I store mine lid up.
Yes.
So I store mine the right way up. Now I know some people say, oh, I store them upside down. If that works for you, you store them that way, but there is no reason to. You can store them right way up in the trays, which is exactly how mine are stored at home, and it doesn't seem to cause a problem with them whatsoever.
Awesome. Right, good to know. Any questions that you've got, keep getting them in. There's loads of comments coming in. I need to ask you about this coffee cup situation. Diane says, I always look forward to seeing Fiona's empty coffee cup. I'm not part of the Fiona Clayton Coffee Cup Club, I think.
Say what you see.
Right.
I have a lovely percolator. You know, one of the Bioletta percolators that you get in Italy?
Yes.
You sit on the stove and the coffee comes up. Well, you often get grounds in the bottom of your cup. Now, if you're like me, sometimes the grounds look like interesting things. So I will post a picture of the bottom of my coffee cup and then we'll just see who can see what. But we've had all sorts. We've had elephants and forests and goodness knows what in there.
Awesome.
So, yeah, the coffee cup crew is the crew to go with.
I need to join the coffee cup crew then. I think that is what I need to do. So I will go and make sure I get myself joined up. Right, we've got about 40 minutes left on the show. We've seen them all individually, but are you going to use them together now?
Oh, I was going to, absolutely.
Awesome.
And you know, I was going to show you the card that I started the show with.
Oh,
but
yes,
guess
please.
What? Can't find it, Joe.
Oh, what does it look like?
Can't find it. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to make another one. We're going to make another one. So I have no clue. I've had a real old rummage around whilst Joe was chatting, and I thought, no, seriously, it has evaporated. So
the crafty fairies have been and had it.
Yeah. We've got our own Bermuda Triangle going on in here. That's what it is.
Sometimes like you lose things and find them. I genuinely lose more things and just don't find them and never know where things go. And then I'll be like getting dressed one day and I think, oh, where has that white t-shirt gone that I for? And then I start thinking to myself, when was the last time I saw it? And then I'll be like, and then I work out through process elimination, it was probably about 2013. And so, you know, might have taken me 7 years to realise it's gone missing.
So look, I'm using these direct onto my watercolour card.
Beautiful.
Look what, so again, I'm using my three favourite. I'm using Fuchsia, Lemon Tonic and Parakeet in the water reactive colours, and I'm using them onto watercolour card. Now again, this is going to be my background, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. We're just going to pop this colour down.
Is there any sort of special do's and don'ts when it comes to blending like this on cardstock?
With other water reactive ink pads I have used, you will have seen people do this. They say, get your tool on, tap it off, and start very slowly revving it up and doing this. Actually, with these ones of ours, they blend so beautifully, you don't need to worry about that. You can get the most amazing colours with these just by, you know, giving it a bit of welly and getting on and doing it. And let's face it, very often that's what we do as crafters. We're there and ready, but just look how beautifully that has gone across the cardstock I'm working with. So again, I'm just going to bring that down. That colour is stunning, isn't it? The pink with that blue parakeet over it is just the most amazing colour.
Really
right,
gorgeous.
So I'm just going to find myself an ink pad. That one's got orange on it. I don't want orange. Well,
Loads of
Right.
comments still coming in. Keep
I'm
getting them in as
listening.
well. Do you know what we need? Do you know what we need, Fiona?
What do we need, Joe?
We need some pictures of what people have been making with these at home is what
Yes.
we need. Please send some into a studio at
Yes, yes, yes.
crafterscompanion.co.uk, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. We want to have a look at what we've been doing with any of our ink pads. Hopefully we'll get a chance to show some of those before the end of the show, which is awesome.
That would be amazing. Now look at this for a super quick background. So if you don't want to paint with them and do that painty background that I did, you can use them straight using your blending tool, straight on. Here we go. We're just going to get some of that colour going on, and I want a bit of green in this corner. And again, look at the colour intensity I am getting here. Isn't that just stunning? It is amazing, absolutely amazing. So we've got a little bit of yellow on there. I'm just going to put a final bit of my pink on here.
Oh,
there we
wow,
go.
that's stunning.
It's like a rainbow on paper, isn't it? It just is amazing. Now look how beautifully those colours have blended.
How clever
just
that
using the blending
they
tool.
don't muddy as well. You know,
That's
because a
it.
lot of the time you would just end up with not a vast array of different colours. Sometimes you end up with one smush of something that doesn't look particularly appetising.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sticking with my primary colours because if you think about it, essentially what I'm using is red, yellow and blue.
Awesome.
And so when you use red, yellow and blue, they're going to be your secondary colours that you've got coming through. So that looks incredible. What we're then going to do is we're going to use one of it. Now we've got some amazing stamps on the show, Joe. These floral fusion stamps, they are incredible. You need to grab these.
They're a bargain as well.
Just awesome. Just awesome. I mean, look at some of these. So I'm going to use some of these florals and we're going to start doing some stamping with the quick dry inks.
Wonderful. If you want to grab the stamps, 95 stamps in total, £29.97 or £44.85. It's a half price deal for you, which is a brilliant value for money. Betty says, thank you so much for answering your question. Now I'll store them lid side up. I thought they would stay juicy upside down, but now I know. So thank you for that. Diane says how much she looks forward to the empty coffee cup. Carol saying Spectrum ink pads are the best ink pads I have ever used. I have all of them now and they last such a long time. We hear that so often. Stephen says, I will definitely be following you and all of your amazing inspiration, Fiona.
So nice.
I love that.
So nice to hear.
May's Cocoa Patch as well says, hi from Mary in Virginia, watching Fiona for the first time. I love you. Your instruction is so clear. Thank you so much. How awesome is that? And also Kelly says, my first time seeing Fiona as well. Very nice to meet her, quote unquote, she says, too. So glad that so many of you are getting lots of inspiration from Fiona for the first time. And she's going to be back as well. We don't have as long, and thankfully nowhere near as long to wait, Fiona, this time, because it's been such a long time.
It has been a long, long time. So now what I'm going to do with my pretty background is I am going to use, so we're now going to the quick dry ink. Do you remember these are going to give me colour? I'm going to use my stamping pad just for speed. So these are going to give me a quick, crisp, dry, and then they will stay nice and quick on the card. So what we're going to do is just stamp some pretty flowers all over this card.
Awesome. Lots of you still are chatting away in the comments. Valerie says that her brother is an organist or a pianist, so we'd have loved that earlier musical card that you did.
Nice.
Leona's suggesting we should stay in here till 3:59 and then leave and allow Sarah to come for cartload. I don't think that's going to get away with that. Pat saying getting lots of sorry, should I try that again? She's saying wonderful show, getting many ideas on how to use my stash. Kathy saying I think these water reactive pads are my favourite, and loads of you just loving all of the different demonstrations, which is wonderful. Remember as well, it's not your only show for the day. You've got a very, very special 3-hour Sarah cartload coming up.
I bet that's absolutely full of fabulous bargains.
Chock for more stuff than you can shake a pokey tool at, Fiona, in that show.
Wow.
It's going to be absolutely loads of fun.
Now, can you see what I've done is I've got my background is water reactive. So they are for your techniques. Then I've done some crisp detail stamping with my quick dry. So now again, I have got my trusty little spritzer, which has got water in it. So what we're going to do is just flick some colour on here, and then I'm just going to pop this out. Now look, this is why you have your quick dry inks and your water reactive, because can you see the background has come away, but the crispness, once they've dried, that crispness, it doesn't matter how much water you pop on them, they're not gonna move. So that's 2 of them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this, and we're going to do some pigment ink stamping over the top.
Awesome. Now remember, loads more coming this week too here. Well, the rest, I have this horrible habit, Fiona, of always believing that my first day back on shift is a Monday. So today's Monday, as far as I can't get out of the habit that today is not Monday. And I said to a friend earlier, said, well, I'll call you at some point during the week. And she went, well, you can, but it is Thursday already, just to let you know. So, but there's a great weekend of shows coming up. I'll be with you actually all the way through the weekend until Sunday. Tomorrow, Derek will be here with you for this first show. Then I'll be back with Leanne for Colour Me Happy. Oh, and then there is the HSM preview coming up tomorrow night over on the Crafts Companion USA page. Great shows all weekend as well. The highlights, of course, being the Craft House, which will be here on Saturday, and then we'll be wrapping it all up with Second Chance Sunday as well. And there's a whole host of masterclasses thrown in there for you as well. And then, of course, Monday, Ben will be back here with you for a brand new week. Oh, Jan is back again on Monday. Jan was here. We've been welcoming loads of our favourites back, haven't we? Jan was in last week. You've been here. Debbie Fisher's here at the weekend as well. It's awesome.
Isn't it brilliant? Yeah, the whole crew back together again. Now, I've just dried this off. So this is now nice and dry. And now this is an anti-static bag. I'm using it because there might be a little bit of moisture left in that card, and I don't want my clear to stick to it when I come, because I just want it to cling to the colours. So I'm going to use blue and bright green again.
Let me try that again. Does drying it create static? I'll get my teeth back in by Sunday when I come off shift, Fiona.
Not necessarily, but what it is if there is still some moisture in this card, what the clear embossing powder will do, because that's what it's designed to do, is it will cling. It will cling to the background, and I don't want it to cling to the background. So what we're going to do, because this is something else you can do, so I'm going in, there we go, I'm just going to put,
I love how you can just use the end there to get that precision.
Yeah, and then you can go in on the other end, and I'm just going to go in and just blend those 2 colours together just on the end there. And if you do get any cross-contamination, just wipe it off on a piece of card. Okay. You know, that's all you need to do.
Do you always take the pad to the stamp? Would you ever do it the other way around? Would you ever take the stamp to the, let me try that again. You've taken the pad to, you get what I'm saying, don't you?
Yes, I always
I'm not doing a very good job of explaining that.
To the stamp. I don't try and ink the stamp up by putting it on the pad. You're quite right, Joe.
It's a good thing we've worked together.
Joe,
it's a good job we know each other, and we know you've got a vague idea of what I'm going on about.
Yeah.
Let's hope the viewers have learnt as well since January.
Now I can see the T and the E is there, but you may not be able to see it because of the colour, but I'm not going to worry, because when I actually get some other colour, when I get the embossing powder, there we are.
It's catching.
It's catching, Joe. It's catching.
Do you know what it is? Can I level with you, Fiona?
Go on, level with me, Joe.
I was in Italy for the last few days, and this now basically was like ice cream time was about sort of 2 p.m. and this is now nap time now. So that's my excuse anyway. I'm ready for a nap.
Yes, that seems perfectly fair to me, Joe. That seems perfectly fair to me. Now remember, I'm using the sticky ink now, and this is going to stay sticky to give me enough time to just put my clear embossing over there. But the pigment ink will also give you that nice crisp finish. So now what we're going to do, I think I've got the biggest tub of clear embossing powder going. I really have. So,
I love heat embossing. I think it's such an amazing. First time I
thing
saw
to
it,
do.
I was absolutely blown away. I think if you gave it to a card to someone that was a non-crafter, they would literally have zero clue on how you'd achieve that.
And you know, it is like magic. This is the thing. It is absolutely like magic. And you know, the thing about this fun little card that we're making here is it just shows you can use all of the different ink collections absolutely together. Right, so we're going to remove the mat because I'm not going to heat emboss that on my mat because I don't want my mat to buckle.
Getting very busy.
Here we go. So now can you see? Do you know what? I'm going to try and do that up here so you can see.
It's magic. Oh,
can you see?
Look
there
at it go.
There we go. And then that celebrate. It's just going to come on there. There's the let's. There's another flower.
Amazing.
And there's another flower. Now I may want, well, I'm just having a look to make, I'm just catching that. Can you see how that,
Beautiful.
how the heat embossing is
glistens,
glistening?
doesn't it?
It's glistening. Now I just want to, yes, I did heat emboss it. I just want to make that celebrate stand out a bit more. So what I'm going to do is just,
oh, I don't know where this is going, Fiona. I'm excited.
I'm just going to lighten that bit where the sentiment is because I can, because that is going to stay beautifully. Because you see, so now you can see that let's celebrate even more then. And then I would let that dry. I'm not going to force dry it now because I've put the heat embossing powder on it.
Right.
So if I force dried that now, that clear embossing I've got on there would actually, what's the word I'm looking for? It would melt into the card, and I don't want it to do that. But I'm just going to, because I can see this, but you may not be able to. I'm just going to highlight.
What sort of pen is that you're using there,
This
Fiona?
is a white gel pen.
Okay.
This is a white gel pen. Works better when your card is dry, but any port in a storm, eh? So here we go, and all I'm going to do is just to pick up the edge of that so you can see, because I can see that T and E are there beautifully, but because the colours I used are quite pale, you may not, you might if I do that. Can you see? Beautiful. There you go. Now there we go. So that is all the ink pads, all used, absolutely together. And the card I showed you before looks something like that.
It will turn up in about a week's time somewhere. You'll be at home and you'll find it like in your lunchbox or something like that. It'll come from somewhere really random. Lots of people talking about buying all the ink pads together now as well. Kathy Cox says, I'm going to get all the different ink pads and the storage to go with it as well. Beth saying over on Facebook, I've got to try spritzing the water into the hand instead of directly onto the card. I'd never had much luck spritzing directly on the card, so we've picked that tip up today. Thank you for that, Fiona. V. Renee Whitley on Facebook says, I retired and co-workers told me I would be bored. They are so wrong. I love these shows, can craft from dawn till dawn. Sounds pretty awesome. Valerie Puccini says, it is normal for you to think you're back at work day as a Monday. Joe, we know what actual day it is. Well, that makes one of us, Valerie, which I'm pleased to know. And Karen says, really loving the combination of all the colours today as well. Very busy across all of the 3 different ink pad collections that we've got for you on the show. Should we just take a moment actually to recap what you're getting in each one of the collections, because they're all very busy. This one here is your quick dry festive ink pad 13-piece collection. Almost 40% of this is gone. Now in here you're going to get the baby blue, you're going to get as well Bordeaux, pink tulip, fire brown, green topaz, honey pot, lemon tonic, oasis, pale fig, straw bale, pumice, seal brown, and the smoked emerald in there. £50 or $70 if you want to go for those. Now we've also got the Pigment Ink Pads available for you. It's a 13-piece collection again here, £50 or $70 if you want to go for those. Remember, you can use your Club Inspire discount on top of this as well. So depending on where you are in the club, you'll get an extra 5% all the way up to 20% off of these collections. The water reactive ones, these are ever so popular, are £50 or $70 to get you these. The 13 colours you're getting here being Chinese red, honey pot, lemon tonic, fuchsia, pink tulip, noir black, lagoon, oasis, parakeet, sandstorm, ocean blue, baby blue and green topaz. Really gorgeous colours in that. I really love that fuchsia pink. Now you're going to need somewhere to put them all, and these are great. These are our Spectrum Night ink pad storage trays. You'd normally get 6 for this price. You're going to get 12 for this price. You can get 3 pads in each tray as well. Now they cascade up like you can see there in the picture. They also connect together side by side. You can even sort of like build them up and over stuff as well, like around a plug socket or something like that if you wish. It keeps them all there neatly organised. Organise them into their colour families as well, and also as your collection grows you can add more of these as you go along, which is brilliant. $16.99 and $24.95 for 2 collections rather than 1. Now the stamping platform with a magnetic base is always popular whenever we bring this to you. This is great for your rotating stamps, for your layering stamps. Maybe you just don't have the best of luck with stamping. You find that you need to repeat stamp quite a lot. This is wonderful because it means you can line it up precisely every single time that you use it. Really, really awesome. That now, loads of you still chatting away. Renee saying, I've been watching for a while now. Love all the techniques that you were showing, Fiona. I have the whole collection of the quick dry ink pads. So I hope you'll be breaking those out and doing some projects with those, Renee. Kathy says, I must say I didn't know there were different kinds of ink. Thank you for such an amazing show. I can go back and watch again now once I get my ink, so thank you. Absolutely you can. There's a couple of different ways that you can do it. If you're on Facebook, you're watching the Facebook Live on Facebook, what you can do is you can share it to your page. That would mean you could be able to go back and watch it anytime. You can actually click the 3 dots in the right corner and you can save it. If you're on YouTube, you can bookmark it. But if you forget to do all those things, don't worry, we know it happens. You can pop yourself over to our website at any time, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au, where you'll be able to see all of our shows back anytime at your leisure. There you can also watch and shop too, so you can watch the demonstrations while you are filling your basket and having a lovely time. So, and also, you'll find loads of inspiration tutorials on our website and on our YouTube channel for pretty much everything we sell here at Crafters Companion, but lots especially for all of our inky products as well. So it's a real great sort of place to go and get inspired over on the website. Now we've got about 20 minutes left on the show, which I know, knowing Fiona, will mean there's still plenty we can fit in.
Loads of demos we can do, loads of time, which is fantastic. So we're going back to our water reactive and we're going to be stamping with these because I want to show you another technique. So this time I've got my stamp and I've just grabbed a butterfly stamp that I had. And what we're going to do is we're just going to stamp. Now the reason I'm using my stamping platform is because I want to get, this is quite a fine detail stamp, but I want to get a fair amount of ink onto it because what we're going to do is we're going to draw out the colour. So I'm using watercolour card. I'm going to get a little bit of fuchsia going on there. And then we've got this beautiful, beautiful stamp. So here we go. That is going to sit there and we're going to stamp it down. There. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't it stunning? Now look, this is also on the show. This is your clear sparkle pot.
Gorgeous.
We are going to give it a swirl and I'm going to hold that. Look at that. Can you see that swirling in there? There you go. Isn't that amazing? So this is your clear sparkle, and what we're going to do is we're going to use this on a brush to draw out some of the colour that you've got in here, and hopefully I've got enough colour on there that you'll be able to see what I'm up to. So again, a little bit of tissue.
If you want to go for that, details on the bottom of the screen there, Fiona, $12.99 or $19.95. I think it's one of the most versatile inks that we bring you, that clear overlay, because I mean you can sparkle anything.
Now
which is
look,
absolutely fantastic.
Can you see how, let me just move that there. Can you see, apologies Joe, I just wanted people to see that colour beginning to release from those really fine lines so that you can get that beautiful intensity of colour. Of course, if you want to make it deeper and darker still, what you can do is you can, here we go, I'm just going to get that colour starting to release. The thing is, if you're doing this, do it quite quickly.
And this is the water reactive.
This is a water reactive that I'm using. Can you see how that is beginning to fill in the colours on that body and on the wings?
And it does look like you've just sort of, you know, drawn this out with a beautiful watercolour. People are going to think you're, well, anyone can be an artist. Now you get this.
I mean, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the thicker the lines are on your stamp, of course, obviously, the more colour you're going to be able to draw out. But you can see the difference in that, can't you? And I mean, you don't even need to have any particular arty talent to do that. But look, so for your techniques and your watercolour techniques,
and do you know what,
that
Fiona?
Looks so
and
pretty.
It's sparkly. What
Isn't
more could
it?
you want?
Isn't it? And when it dries, let me see if I can get the sparkle on there. Can you see the sparkle? Do you know what? I'm going to do it to the front. There you go. Let's see if I can make that sparkle for you.
Beautiful.
Am I getting the sparkle?
Yeah, I can just about see it there. I would say as well, they always never seem to sparkle quite as much, do they, on camera?
That's right.
Should we get a bit closer? Should we have a little go? Let's have a little go again. Let's see if we can. I really do want you to see it.
Let me see. I think I just need to catch the light. Is that sparkling?
Yes, I can see that there. Beautiful.
There we go.
Really gorgeous.
Think about using your water reactive ones to stamp and then to draw the colour out as well, because that is going to be gorgeous. There we are. So that was another technique using the watercolour ink pads.
Beautiful. And now if you want to go for the water reactive ink pads, they are available right now. Yes. I would say as well, the ones that we do sell out of a lot are the Chinese red is very rarely in stock, and the fuchsia always so incredibly busy. When you see a collection where you've got those two in there, that honey pot and the lemon tonic. In fact, you know, this is a real sort of who's who of your favourite colours. This collection, £50 or $70. If you were a Club Inspire Platinum member, you get this for £40 or $56, which would be great value for money. Everyone, of course, though, has a great saving. £14 or $20 is your saving there. We're going to go back to the pigment inks is where we're going to go back to next. And these fantastic, of course, because really, again, great for everything that Fiona has shown you through this show, but really, really versatile, these ones. In this collection, you are going to get Pumice, Misty Morning, Smoke Plume, Smoked Emerald, Noir Black, the Pure White, Frosty Jade, Twilight Grey, Spar Blue, Seal Brown, Anthracite, Friar Brown, and the Smoke Pearl. There are all of the colours that you are getting right there. This is, again, a fabulous selection. It's £50 or $70 if you want to get your hands on those ones. Michelle saying as well, I've taken advantage of the many ink pad deals since March. Now only have a couple of missing colours from each type of ink. Great and economical way to build your stash. Katrina saying as well, Fiona and Joe, thanks for the info about the ink pads. I have the quick dry collection and a few pads from the others, but will now buy the collections. And I think sometimes you think, oh, well, I've got that one set, so I don't need all the others. But when you see the amount of different fabulous things that you're able to do with them, lots of you are absolutely loving them. Remember as well, we're going to be back. It's not your only show today. You've got a bit of a boat. We get an extra hour as well. We're going to be back in about an hour and 10 minutes time, hour and 15 minutes time. Myself and Sarah for a 3-hour bumper Sarah Cartload. So make sure you join us for that. Right, what's next, Fiona?
So you know that fantastic collection of folders we've got? Here we go. I've got one which is the cut and embossing folder. So this is a decorative rose one just there. So here we go. There you go. I was being good. And here's the folder. And when I open it up, can you see all of this here that you're seeing in this beautiful rose gold? That is all a die which is embossed in your folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of black card, which I have just made a 5x7 card. We are going to use this to cut in. So that's going to be the front of my card, And then can you see I'm just folding the card inside and then folding the back piece there. Now this is a standard embossing folder, so it just needs 2 embossing plates, so 2 of the junior plates, and we're just going to run that through.
Fiona, I've never asked this. How did you get into crafting?
Do you know what? I swapped jobs about 10 years ago, and I had more time on my hands.
Right.
And I suddenly got to watch TV during the day, and suddenly this whole new world opened up to me. And in fact, it was a painting course that I saw, and I started doing that, and from the painting we started to really get going. Now I'm hoping I might even show that at the front. It might be easier.
Oh, I can see all of that gorgeous detail there.
Can you see that? That is a card in one pass, and this is why these things are just so wonderful to use. But watch what happens when I put my pigment inks on here. So I have got the Frosty Jade. Watch this. So I'm going direct.
Always reminds me of someone that maybe isn't all that friendly.
What,
Jade,
Frosty
who's a bit
Jade?
frosty.
Frosty
We've got
Jade.
2 Jade in the office here.
Have you?
Neither of them are frosty. I'm pleased to please let you know they're both absolutely lovely.
So look at this. Can you see that beautiful
And you're
embossing?
using the pad directly onto
Direct.
the cardstock. Wow.
But you'll notice I'm using this really lightly. I'm not putting any pressure on here. I'm just letting that pad skirt across. If I were to put some pressure on this, I'm going to do it on the back of the card so you can see. So I'm using that really, really lightly just to pull up all of that fine detail. Because if I squash this pad down hard, I'll do it on the back of the card so you can see. If I did that, what you're going to get is you're going to get all of that colour. You don't want that. You don't want that. What you want is this. So what you're doing is just skating over the top of it really, really lightly. So if I then bring this down.
Good that they give you such coverage even on black, Fiona.
Yeah, this is the thing. So look at that. You've got all of that incredible, incredible colour. If I bring this one in, again, which we saw at the top of the show, can you see? That's the one where you've got all of that beautiful colour. And then what I've done to get that gold is our gold Midas pads, just done exactly the same, just in there. And then the vellum, there we go. The vellum is just with the clear embossing powder over the top of it. So quick and simple, aren't they, Joe? Quick and simple.
But also very striking and very, very impressive, Fiona, that you can get so much detail there. Let me just grab 1 second. I'm just going to grab the collection in which you'll find that cut and emboss folder. So let me just run you through what you've got here, because they are a bit of a who's who of some of our favourite embossing folders. So what you've got here firstly is the Rose Blooms from the Signature collection, which is a really, really beautiful one. If I just get that on the behind there, you'll see the different detailing that you've got. I love that the positive and the negative are both able to be used, give you a very different look and feel. Then Sarah's favourite embossing folder is this one just here. Now this is your Decadent Lilies, which is really beautiful. The next one you've got as well is English Rose, which is like, I'll show you on the back because you can see it's almost like this gorgeous frame that you've got there. You've also got the Country Garden. This is the one that Fiona was saying was absolutely gorgeous earlier. And then finally the Cut and Emboss. Some companies would sell you an embossing folder that then had a matching die that went with it. You'd have to buy both of them. Oh, we don't do that here. No, we just put them both together for you. And then you get all 5 of those. So you're getting 2 3D embossing folders. You're getting a cut and emboss folder. You're getting something from one of our Nature's Garden and a couple of items from the Signature collections. So they really are like the most awesome ones. And you're going to get 5 of them for £29 or $41, which is fabulous value for money. Very, very busy on those. Question for you, Fiona.
Yes,
Monica says, can anyone explain the names Harmony and Finesse? Is there a reason? Is it a clue to what kind of inks they are?
Well, Harmony, because they work in harmony and they work together, which is the whole aim. Finesse comes from fine detail, doesn't it? So when you're looking for your fine detail, that finesse, they're the inks you go for.
There you are.
There you go.
A lot of you commenting along. Should we give your card away, Fiona?
Yes, why
Should we
not?
do that?
Why not? Do you know that one I've kept safe?
You
so
have?
I know
I am
where that
pleased.
one is. I know where that one is. That one's right here.
Right, so the winner is Tammy Sur on Facebook.
Oh,
You
well
are
done,
the winner.
Tammy.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. So Tammy, you need to drop us an email, prizes@crafterscompanion.com, prizes@crafterscompanion.com, and we will have that sent out for you. How awesome. Thank you so much for giving that away,
No
Fiona.
problem.
Very generous of you. Right, I know that you've got more you want to share with us, Fiona.
One more quick technique. So I'm going to use it with the pigment inks, but this would also work with your water reactive. I'm using the rose blooms, which is in that fantastic folders collection that we've got there, and I've got a piece of card. So again, anti-static bag. The reason for that will become clear in a minute. Then we're going to open up the folder. Now that's the side I want.
How do you know? What's the test, Fiona?
All I was doing was seeing if I could stick my nail in it.
Okey-doke.
So that's a bit which is recessed. So that's a bit which is going to stay white. Or I could do it the other way around, and then the background would stay white, and the flowers would be embossed. I'll show you what I mean in a minute, Joe.
Okey-doke.
It will all become clear. We're back to the pigment ink. The other good thing about these ink pads is there is no rim. So if you are using them with a brayer like I am, that edge around there does not get in the way. So what I'm doing is putting a nice load of ink on my brayer, and then we're going to pop this on my folder. Now what this is going to do is just highlight all of the background. Now I want a bit more coverage on there. Now I could carry on working it with the brayer, but just for speed, I'm going to be very careful and just go in very lightly. And again, really, really light tapping. Can you see? And the pink bits of this folder are going to stay white when I emboss the card.
Can you put too much ink in the folder at this point if you're not careful?
Not with the pigment ink. That's
Okey-doke.
a brilliant question, but not with the pigment inks because it's sticky. It's not going to splodge anywhere.
Awesome.
So there you go. That is going to sit there. You've got my piece of card, which I've also used my anti-static bag on. Remember, that's so that the bits which I don't get any ink on are going to stay white. You close it up. We find my embossing folders, because again, this is a standard embossing folder. And we're just going to run that through. And whilst that's going through, I can pop that
Tammy
out
says,
the way.
"OM gosh, I won. Really? Holy camoly." You did win, Tammy.
fantastic.
Congratulations.
That's brilliant. It's always happy when somebody else is happy, isn't it? So now, look at that. Look at that. So what you can do, so that looks gorgeous. You could...
Looks like an awesome resist technique, doesn't it?
It does. But what you can do now, let me just move that out of the way. And where did I put, now come here. Here.
I love listening to you talk to your crafts, Fiona.
Yes. You know, sometimes you have to. I think I should have a magic hands just to keep an eye on me.
I think
just because
everywhere,
I
not
can
just at
lose
work,
anything.
Not just at work, everywhere you go.
Yeah, everywhere. So now, what I've done, can you see that's all gone quite dull now? So let's, just because we know how accident prone I can be, let's get rid of that and bring out my heat gun. Here we go, and what we're going to do is heat emboss this. So, here we go.
Now I love this heat embossing technique, it is so gorgeous. I love when you heat emboss large areas like this as well,
Yeah.
Fiona, because it gives you like even more bang for your buck, doesn't it? I don't know, I think it's just beautiful.
Really does. Look at this. Can you see how beautiful?
And where would you get, the great thing of course about these ink pads, where would you be able to go out and you'd struggle to source sort of vibrant blue powder like this, I think, that gives you this sort of coverage, whereas these just gorgeous.
Well, you know, the thing is, it's really good value, because all you need now is to invest in a clear embossing powder, because you've got your ink pads, and unlike a coloured embossing powder, your pigment inks can do so much more. So you can do your blended backgrounds, you can stencil with them, and you can do what I'm doing here and heat emboss with them and still have that fabulous emboss. But at the same time, you've got those pads which will do so much more. So I think in terms of value for money, going for the pads and the clear embossing powder is far better value than going for lots of different colour embossing powders. Does that make sense,
Yeah,
Joe?
well, think about it the other way round, right, Fiona? Imagine if you were to try and buy 13 decent sized tubs of embossing powders in all the colours,
Yeah.
and then one clear pigment ink pad.
Yeah.
I reckon you'd probably spend about the same sort of money.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be able to do all the inking techniques with them.
That's it. So this works out far better. So look at that. I've got the most incredible background. And if you want to know what it looked like on the other way,
Gorgeous.
that's how it looks if you heat emboss and ink the other side of the folder. So the choice is entirely yours. I just think they're good fun techniques. And remember, unlike a coloured embossing powder, you can also do things like that.
Really beautiful. That's Tammy's card now, not
It
your
is.
card anymore. It's
Tammy's
the
card.
beautiful Tammy.
I'll
will
write
be-
Tammy on the back of it
We'll
in a
be
minute.
receiving that. Right, pens and papers time. Well, iPhone sticky notes time. No one uses pens and paper these days, do they? Although we do in our
Yes.
meetings. I do. There's something about writing things down, isn't there? However you want to do it, just don't miss out on it. Here is a recap of everything you've seen in this masterclass. Now, we're going to start with those. We're going to start with the quick dry ink pads. It's the 13-piece festive edition that you've got here. £50 or $70. Over 40% of these have gone, so do be quick if you want them. I can see a lot of you checking out now as we're coming towards the end of the show. You can use your Club Inspired discount. Platinum members will get this for £40 or $56, sorry, if you wanted to go for those. We've got the pigment ones available for you. Pigment, of course, is what you've just seen the lovely Fiona demonstrating there. So great for heat embossing, wonderful for using on darker cardstocks as well. Give you a really lovely coverage. Great for you creating your own background papers too. £50 or $70 for those ones. Then the water reactives, these are awesome for those blended backgrounds, for all of those different techniques that you want to do. These work beautifully, £50 or $70. Again, a lot of you are going for all three collections, which is a really shrewd move whilst they're on. Such a great deal because they do all play so beautifully together. The trays as well, these are fantastic. Normally you get 6 pieces for $16.99 or $24.95. Today you're going to get 12, which is awesome. It means you can store 36 ink pads in there, which is absolutely awesome. Fiona, can I say it was an absolute pleasure to be back with you again.
Oh, thank you.
In the craft room.
Thank you,
I know you said
thank
you're
you.
back here on the 24th and 25th.
I am indeed.
But when can we catch you over on Create and Craft?
Crate and Craft. I'll be on Crate and Craft tomorrow morning at 9:45 a.m. So I am leaving here and driving to Peterborough to do some shows on Friday and Saturday. So I'll see you soon.
Awesome. It's like a little UK crafting tour you're doing,
Yes.
Which I absolutely love. Very busy. Please don't forget to check out your baskets. Don't forget, it's going to be an amazing show coming up in just an hour's time. Myself and Sarah here for a 3-hour Sarah Cartload. If I told you there was A3 Centura Pearl on the show in 3 packs, oh yes, you need to be there. You need to be there. Right, we're going to get some lunch. Huge thanks to Fiona. Massive thanks to you guys as well at home. And I'll see you back here in an hour's time.
Joe.
Take care.